Alright, this is a video about relationship advice. When you're in a relationship, whatever that means to you, if that means you're dating a girl for a couple dates, you're married, she's actually officially your girlfriend, but when you're with a girl more than once, you're not just on like a first date and all that, this relationship advice right here, I'm going to give you literally the most important thing about any relationship. And the deeper you get into this understanding of attraction and game stuff, the more that you'll see this video, you'll go, holy cow, that's absolutely it. That is the universal truth of all relationships. When you get to that level, you'll see how powerful this is. If you watch this video and you go, and you're not like, oh my God, that was huge, that's okay. But just know that if you watch this video again in a month, 2 months, 5 months, however long it takes you, because I don't know where you're at exactly right now in your understanding of women. And so this right here, the universal truth of all relationships, whatever you want in a relationship, whatever you want more of, you praise that, you mention that. Whatever you don't like, you ignore. I'm going to say that again. Whatever you like, you praise, you call that out, you compliment that behavior of what you like. Whatever you don't like, you ignore. That is huge. What happens is most of the time, we do it opposite. This is men, women, this is everything. In relationships, the biggest problem with all relationships is we point out what we don't like, and what happens is have you ever heard repetition is the mother of skill? Repetition, like habits, the more you do something, the more ingrained it is in you. So repetition is how we learn anything. Think about math when we were back in the school days. You learn your multiplication times tables, your addition facts, repetition, repetition until you have it down. Then you can build on more stuff. So repetition is everything. And what happens though in most relationships, we call out what we don't like. Hey, I don't like how you're not showing me affection. I don't like how you treated me. I don't like what you said to me. And the more we call that out in the other person's brain, the more it gets repeated, just think of it as a seed. The more something gets repeated, you're watering that seed and it grows into this bigger flower. And so if you're watering these seeds of what you don't like in somebody, they don't go, oh, they don't like that, I'm going to stop doing it. It becomes a seed that they just plant in their head, and they do that more often. I hope that sounds simple to you. Whatever you talk about more, it's like watering that seed and it grows. But the difference is, if you think by calling something out they'll stop doing it, you're absolutely wrong. And I was wrong. Most people are wrong about this. This is just the universal truth. The more and more you dig into attraction and relationships, this will ring more and more true to you. So what do the most successful, healthy relationships do? What do? They practice gratitude. They appreciate the things they like, and that grows. For instance, here's what I do to girls all the time in the dating stage. When a girl is rude to me, if a girl calls me out and says something, for instance here, we'll give you an example here. These bracelets I have. I love these bracelets, they're sparkly. These are women bracelets, because they don't make guy bracelets like these. I got this from like a woman's store. So if I have a girl that calls me out and says, I don't like your bracelet or something, or she's like rude about it, I just ignore that. But then when she does something nice or sweet, she says, oh, I love your necklace. I go, oh, I love how sweet you are. Oh, I love when you're sweet to me, right? So I never mention, I don't like when you're mean to me, because that would water that seed of her being more mean to me. I always appreciate the things that I like. When she's nice to me, when she's sweet, I use that word and I say, I love when you're sweet to me. And I water that seed. And what happens is the girls in my life, they know if they say something, if they get upset at me, if they get dramatic with me, instead of me going, "You're being dramatic, I hate that," I just ignore it. If she sends me this long text where she's like, I want to date and all that, and I hate that you're blah blah blah, and giving me these ultimatums, I ignore it. I ignore it. I don't sit here and go, "I hate when you give me ultimatums, blah blah blah," because that waters that seed. I ignore it, and I look for something I appreciate. And what I do is I always water those seeds of things that I like. Now, this is true with anything. And if you have some individual examples, comment below about something that you're working on or something that you want to see more of. And I can teach you, I can tell you what you could do to water that seed. But here's an example. There was a girl that I've had some guys that, talk to me about, hey, what happens when their wife or their girlfriend is starting to let it go and like getting bigger. For instance, like if you like big girls, that's cool, like whatever. But there's guys that have said, "Hey, my wife or my girlfriend is gaining weight. How do I get her to want to work out again and all that?" And I've had these experiences a lot where I'm hanging out with women and like I love a skinny fit woman with like curves. Oh man. But I've had these girls where I've been hanging out with them and eventually, they might start to let it go. And what I do in that situation and what you can do is see, again, what most relationships do wrong is you might say, "Hey, you're getting a little big," or "Hey, you should go to the gym," and all that stuff. And then that is kind of that negative seed, like, "Oh, I'm getting big. He's not attracting me. I'm getting overweight," and that grows in her head, and she actually does less. She does less work. So instead, you find what you want and you water that seed. So what would happen is I might hear that this girl is going to the gym, right? So I was hanging out with this girl and she had gone to the gym and said something. And she's like, "Hey, I'm at the gym, but I want to hang out with you later." And so then what I do is if I know that she's not going to the gym a lot and I want her to go to the gym, I say something like, "Oh, I love that you're going to the gym. That's what I'm so attracted to that about you, that you're always constantly trying to stay in shape and trying to keep your body healthy," right? I literally say that and I say it in a positive way. And then that waters that seed and she goes, "Oh, he liked that. He appreciated that." And now she has something to look forward to about working out, where she before might have like been like, "Ugh, I hate working out." And if no one appreciated it, then she didn't need to keep doing it. So another example is I've done this before where a girl, um, if I know that she might be saying something like, "Oh, I haven't worked out in a while," or something like that. Well, when we get naked or something, we're getting down to it, and I like start kissing her body, I'll say something like, "God, you're looking good. I love like you must be working out, or you've been working out, haven't you? Because your body's looking great." And I say something like that, and then she goes, "Oh, I haven't been working out, but oh, he likes when I'm working out. He likes my body, all that." That plants that seed to then later she might text me and be like, "Hey, I'm going to the gym," and I'll be like, "Oh, I love that. I love your attitude about." So again, I shape that behavior I want to see, and I let it grow, and I never say what I don't want, because that will make that other thing grow. If your wife, your girlfriend, is not um, giving you enough affection, maybe you want her to kiss you when you get home. What you never do is you never say, "Hey, why don't you ever kiss me anymore?" That's planting that seed of what you don't want. So instead, what you do is you might text her and say something like, "Hey, I got a surprise for you when we're coming home. I can't wait for you to meet me by the door and give me a kiss," right? Like, even if she's never done that before, you can just say that and just put it in her head. And then maybe she doesn't do it, that's fine, but now it's in her head. And eventually, when she does something you like, let's say she reaches over and kisses you out of nowhere, you just stop. And instead of going, "Oh, she finally did it," you just go, "Oh, I love when you kiss me out of nowhere. I love when you," and you praise that thing you want to see. I could go on and on about this, And that's why in the loyalty bonuses, I'll talk more about relationship kind of tips, but literally that is the universal truth. Praise what you like, ignore what you don't. Don't say what you don't like, ignore it, because eventually the things that you do like, she'll remember and she'll keep doing those, and eventually that trait you didn't like will just disappear. And it might seem out of this world to you, but if you can trust me on this, this is the universal truth of relationships. And watch any happy, successful relationship, and you'll see that's what they do, but it'll probably be hard to find. There's not a lot of them out there. Watch any unhappy relationship, and you'll probably see that they don't do that almost ever. They're nagging each other all the time, as opposed to appreciating and being grateful for the traits you like, and you'll start to see it more. What you focus on expands. The more focus you put on something, the more you'll see it back. So when you focus on her positive qualities, it expands, you'll see it more often. When you focus on her negative qualities, it'll expand, you'll see it more often. The more attention you put on something, the more it will come back to you. Learn. But again, remember that universal truth. What you focus on expands. Focus on the positive qualities, you'll see that more often. Focus on the negative qualities, you'll see that more often. So you decide. Call out what you do like, you'll see it more. Ignore what you don't like, you'll stop seeing that eventually, but you got to give it time. Let me know something that if you are working on something with a girl and you're not sure how to do it, comment below, I'll help you out with it. Or tell me if this hit you, if this rang true to you. Like you go, oh, I realized I was doing this or that in my past relationship, and that's why it didn't work out. Tell me about that, because the more you comment on here below, other guys will see that and they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm going through that same experience. Now I know not to do that. So again, comment below. Let's talk about this, but this is the universal truth, and there'll be more coming from me. I just got back from Ireland for 14 days. It was great. Lots of fun. That's my home heritage, and I suggest going there if you ever get the chance. Really cool stuff there. Don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, share the video, but definitely subscribe. Peace.